Hold on. This video has nothing to do with video games. So if that's not your thing, go ahead and click on this little annotation below to jump to the very end where we've got a bit of an announcement about a new series that we're doing. If you're okay with that, then go ahead and enjoy the review. So let's talk about Frozen. This movie has become one of the most popular things in Disney history. If you honestly haven't seen it yet, the hell is wrong with you? Where have you been all this time? It's 2 years old. Have you been living under a rock? Oh, you have. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I had no idea. Frozen is an amazingly well-done film, pushing the trope of Disney princess to new levels, reinventing the idea of the queen not being a villain, but someone who you can strive to want to be. This movie is amazing. It is so good. It is really well written. It's got some problems. And this wouldn't be much of a review if I didn't point out those problems. One of the big issues a lot of people have is with the open. Having the parents lock Elsa up for years seems like bad parenting that could have easily hurt her later on in life. And it does. Spoiler warning, by the way. Now, I don't really have a problem with this, as it basically sets up the major conflict of the film, but yeah, the writers probably could have handled the opening a little bit better. Another big problem people have is with the male leads, as one is the blatant, handsome prince known as Hans, which, by the way, they actually play to that trope, so it's not really that much of a negative thing, but I digress, people complained about it. Which inevitably leads Anna to falling for the flawed but humble everyman character Kristoff. Which, if you've seen any romantic comedy, this is a fairly common trope, as the really pretty guy shows up, but then she ends up falling for the everyman instead. This has been done 8 million times, and honestly, I don't really have any problems with it either, because it's not necessarily bad to have a trope, and it's not necessarily bad to follow a trope if it leads to an interesting path for the story, and I thought this one did, so we're moving on. The rest of the movie seems to flow well for a Disney film. It hits all the right notes and even has a sympathetic antagonist, going for more of a man versus nature style film, which Disney doesn't normally do. And then there's the last 15 minutes, which is where my biggest gripe comes in the film. One of the side characters, who has been given very little development throughout the film, Hans, all of a sudden goes full-blown villain simply because the story hasn't had one yet. And this is Disney, and we have to have some sort of over-the-top villain. Yes, my biggest gripe with the film is Hans. Not because he's a bad character, he's not. It just feels so token to make him the obvious villain at the end. So this will be my look into how Frozen could have been easily improved. This is mostly from a script writing standpoint, but you get my drift. The final 15 minutes of the film has Elsa chained up in a dungeon, with Hans being rather sympathetic to her situation, basically saying that he doesn't want to do this, but feels forced because Anna had put him in charge earlier in the film. Hans feels responsible for the well-being of the castle and its kingdom, as he has been given a position of power. But when Anna finally shows up and is suffering from a spell Elsa accidentally cast on her, Hans has an opportunity to make things right by planting true love's kiss on her. And here's where the film goes wrong. Now, I'm not saying that Hans should have kissed her, but the idea of making him the comically over-the-top, I'm only in this for the power villain makes the whole situation pretty silly after avoiding doing the one thing that I've wanted Disney films to do for years: make an entire film without a villain. And here's how it could work. As Hans goes to kiss Anna, he stops short, with an astonished look on his face, and says, "Wait, I don't love you." He's surprised by this, as he thought he was when he proposed to Anna earlier. She confronts him by saying, "Why not?" Hans explains that he's in the situation where he's 13th in line for the crown, just like he did in the regular film, and he felt obliged to try and get involved as he does want a position of power. The difference is, he's made to be more sympathetic because he's afraid that he doesn't actually love her, so he refuses to kiss her. And here's where the big change comes into play. Instead of Hans being a comically over-the-top villain, he's now playing to the overall theme of the film: fear. Elsa's parents were afraid of her powers, so they asked her to conceal them. Elsa was afraid of hurting her sister, so she ran away and hid in the mountains. The townsfolk were afraid of her because of her awesome power. Fear is the ongoing theme of the film, letting our insecurities get the better of us. Now, this is a really great theme for the film to have, as it's easily relatable to both men and women. We let fear control a lot of aspects of our lives, and having a main character who's trying to confront this fear is a really great thing for young kids to be able to deal with. This also makes Anna such a good character, as she never really shows fear. She's never shown to be afraid of her sister. She constantly trudges forwards, and even in the face of death, she's pushing herself onward. Letting her be the only character that doesn't show fear would make her the strongest character here. But then Hans comes into play. Making Hans the evil villain at the end takes away from Anna's agency. She's no longer the only one who doesn't show fear. He's also not afraid and is willing to do whatever it takes to take over the kingdom, as most over-the-top evil villains do. But what if he was afraid? It would still work as a story and could still come to a big climactic ending. Letting Hans succumb to his fear would have him lock Anna in the room, confront Elsa, and still have him try to kill her because of what was happening to Anna. It honestly would happen the same way that it did in the original movie. The difference? The subtext of the scene would play to the movie's overall theme and make Hans more sympathetic as an antagonist. After Elsa saves Anna with the power of love, the two could confront Hans and he could apologize for his actions, asking forgiveness, and then being exiled from their kingdom the same way that he did in the original movie. Or, we could still have this scene. That never gets old. Frozen is still an amazing film. I just wish that we could have a Disney movie without an over-the-top villain in it. Like Lilo and Stitch. Except for the shark guy at the end. Damn it, Disney, can you make a film without an over-the-top villain in it? I mean a good film. No, I'm sorry. Next time on Review Roulette. Well, hello there. I'm your director. And this is our new show called Review Roulette. We're basically going to be taking a series of topics that each member of Gaming Wildlife wants to talk about, and we're going to put them into a little roulette wheel and spin it randomly and see which topic comes up. We've been working on this review show for a while, and if you like it, leave a thumb up. Or if you don't like it, leave a thumb down. Please don't leave a thumb down. We've been working hard at this, and this video is now 2 days late, and I'm sorry about that. If you like this video, please go to our Patreon page. We're doing a little thing with this where if we get enough donations on our Patreon page, we're going to make this a weekly series in addition to the Gaming Wildlife episode. The other thing is, Channel Awesome is doing a little giveaway with us. They are going to be giving away a copy of the new Zelda game, Majora's Mask for 3DS, a physical copy, and all you have to do to win it is comment and subscribe to our channel. They're going to pick a random subscriber, so go into the comments and leave a comment being completely 100% honest about what you thought about this video. And I'm going to pick one, and you're going to get a copy of Majora's Mask for 3DS. And don't you worry, I'm not just going to pick a random comment that's like, oh, you guys are so wonderful, everything you do is so great. No. I'm going to pick a unique comment. You put a unique comment down there, and boom, you're going to get a copy of Majora's Mask for 3DS. Given to you by the lovely people over at Channel Awesome, the people who feature our videos on a weekly basis. Honestly, I'm really not sure why our videos are not very high quality. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, win a copy of Majora's Mask for 3DS, go give to our Patreon, and we will see you next week with a 100% honest episode. Take care.